Okay, so welcome everybody. Welcome to class. Welcome to practice. I was reading in the sutras today. So the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali are the philosophical backbone, the underpinnings of our whole practice. And they're just a sutra is like a little short phrase. Sutra means thread. It's a thread, so it's a thread of words that point us in a direction. The goal of yoga is to help us find inner peace. That's really the goal of the yoga. Now, one of the side benefits is we get a very healthy body and we get more flexible, we get stronger. But really the goal of yoga is to help us find more inner peace, more inner contentment, more happiness, more wellness. So that's really the goal. And this sutra that I was reading today, it's a Sutra 121. It says, the goal is near for those who are supremely vigorous and intense in your practice. So once again, the goal is near for those who are supremely vigorous and intense in your practice. So that doesn't mean we do, intense postures or it means that you have an intensity and a vigor towards being present. You're not interested in getting lost in the future, not getting lost in the ruminations of the past. You're not interested basically in your own drama, right? We all have drama. So the less interested you are in that drama and the more interested you are in peace, that's what it means by intensity. Because remember, practice of yoga is not asanas. I mean, that's one thing that we can do. Asanas is one thing. But it says here in the sutras, anything you do to help you quiet your mind, could be walking in the park, taking a walk along the wonderful shore that we have here. You could be knitting, you could be sitting and doing formal meditation. Anything you do in your life to quiet your mind with that conscious intention, that's yoga. So yoga is so much more than these postures. So let's practice with vigor and intensity today to bring the goal, which is at hand, which is that peace of mind. So switch the cross of your legs. Cross your shins at the very center. And take the backs of your thighs outwards and pull the flesh under your buttocks back. Bring your hands to the center of your thighs and move your sitting bones evenly down and draw your thighs down away from your hands. And then to help you get some length on the sides of the body, bring your fingertips onto whatever you're sitting on, press down with your fingertips, and then lift up through the sides of your trunk. Bring your shoulders back. Have a slight bend of your elbows. Bring the breastbone up and bring the crown of the head right over the tailbone. Draw your hands to your heart center. Encourage the chest to lift well. Take a deeper inhalation. And as you exhale, close your eyes, remove any glasses, and just continue to settle down from your day so far. Bring your whole intention, your awareness to this practice of yoga, so that you can rediscover the peace that's inside you, that's always there, but can get overlooked. So we practice for that peacefulness, for that contentedness to become more apparent to us. With your chest lifting well, soften your senses, flow your senses inwards. Bring your head to your heart. Be present in your heart. Please join me after your next exhalation. Take a deeper inhalation for 3 ohms. Lift your chest upwards, bow your head downwards. Feel your own inner intention, really sense it. Your intention to be well, to be healthy, to find that peace. Make that intention alive. And let this practice of yoga help you with that intention. Release your hands down to your thighs with your palms upwards. Raise your head and slowly open up your eyes. Okay, welcome again. Stretch out your legs, everybody. And we'll start today in Adho Mukha Virasana. So have your big toes touching, your knees apart, and your arms extended forwards. Take any props you need under your knees, between your hips and your feet, under your head. And then just look forward, lift your chest, look forward, and spread your fingers really well, and push down with your hands and move back. Move your thighs back, move your hips back, connect your hips to your feet. Draw your abdomen back, so there's a backward motion. And lift your chest forward, bring your back ribs in, walk your hands even further forward, lengthening the sides of your trunk, and then bring your forehead down. Keep the undersides of your arms lifting away from the floor. Rest your forehead down. Use this prostration, this pose, which is a bowing, bow to the present moment. Keep letting go of distractions, outer concerns, inner concerns. Whatever is really important will arise again after the class, and you can deal with it in a clearer way after your practice. So you can let it go for now. And sometimes when you let things go and you come back to them, things are more clear. And let's come up into downward facing dog pose, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, great. So you can turn your hands out a little bit, and you can keep your feet as wide as your hands, or you can take them a little bit wider as needed, or even as wide as the sticky mat. So kind of personalize your needs and just notice how the pose is coming, how it feels. Do you feel it more in your arms or more in your legs, more in your spine? Which part of your body feels stiffer? And then like we did in Adho Mukha Virasana, the downward facing hero's pose, look forward, spread your fingers really well, press down with your hands and move back. Move your body weight back into your legs, but keep looking forward. Look forward towards your fingertips. That's it. But move your body weight back into your ankles and your heels. Move your thighs back. That's the way. Good. And then once you have that backward motion, you can bring your head down, level with your ears, level with your upper arms, and lift your hips up away from your hands. So the outer hips lift up. Yes. And you'll find that your armpits start to move back. Your armpits move back towards your knees. Yes, armpits to the knees, collarbones to the shin bones, turning the tops of the arms outwards, deepening the breath. And then walk your hands to your feet. For Uttanasana, again, take your feet at least as wide as your hips, maybe as wide as your mat. Take your heels wider than your toes. Take your hands wider than your feet. Take your hands wider than your feet, really wide, wider than your sticky mat, really. And press down through your heels, pull up through the inner legs, all the way up to your inner groins. Draw the outer knees up into the outer hips. Keep your hips right over your ankles. And then take your side ribs down, take your elbows down, take your head down. Good. And then bring your hands to the hips, reach the chest forward, and up you come. Okay, so now we're going to do another version of that. So take your blanket and open it this way. Okay, and then put the edge of your blanket at the edge of your sticky mat, the top edge of your sticky mat. Okay, and then you make your sticky mat into a roll. You make it into a roll. So you roll the sticky mat over the blanket. So you end up with a nice roll and just a little bit of sticky mat. So it looks this way, like a roll and just a little bit of sticky mat. Okay, and then you bring your blocks in front of the roll. This way, and you bring your hands onto the blocks and then lift the ball of your right foot up onto the roll. So you can watch if you need to here. And my heel is on that little part of the sticky mat that I didn't make into a roll. And then I bring my left foot up. So I have the balls of my feet all the way up, just my heels are down. And you want to get a concavity in your back, so lift your chest forward. You should have your hips right over the ankles. So Ardha Uttanasana with your feet on a roll. Yes, and you should feel some stretching of your calf muscles. Make sure that the feet are as wide as the hips, the outer hips. If you don't feel any stretch, make your roll thicker. So you don't need very much mat for your heels. You can make the roll thicker. If you feel too much stretch, make your roll thinner. So make the roll thicker by rolling it further back, make it thinner. You have to personalize the roll for you. Spread your toes, press your heels down, and think of the heels like a hinge, like you're releasing your heel down away from the calf muscle. Release the calf muscles down away from the backs of the knees and lift the backs of the knees up into the buttock bones. Bring your hands to the floor or the blocks and lift your chest. Get rid of any roundness in your upper back. So pull the sides of your trunk forward. Bring your shoulder blades into your back ribs. Lift your chest upwards. That's it. Good. And then some of you can move the blocks lower. And then finally move the blocks to the side and take your head down. Some of you can just lose the blocks. Bring your fingertips to the floor. Otherwise, keep your hands on the blocks, but bend your elbows out to the sides. So bend the elbows way out to the sides. There you go. That's it. And take the head down to the floor. If you feel too much stretch, that's it. Take your feet a little bit wider apart. And then some of you can even, if you're feeling balanced, you can wrap your fingers, bring your fingers into the outer edges of the roll and use it like as a handlebar to pull down. Just bring your fingers into the roll and pull downwards. Otherwise, just keep your hands on the blocks. But make sure that your hips don't go backwards. Keep your hips right. That's it. Yes. Yes. Open up the backs of the knees. Head is down. Elbows are out to the side. So press the heels down. Pull the heels away from the calf muscles and lift the hamstrings up to the buttock bones. Move the buttock bones forward. Head down. That's it. Very good. And now come back to the blocks. Bring your hands onto the blocks and then step your feet off of that mat. Very good. Okay, and then come on up and undo your roll. Okay, and then stand in Tadasana. Just have your feet sitting bone distance apart. Bring your hands to the hips. Shift your body weight back into the front of your heels. Pull your kneecaps up. Move your thighs back. Move the top of the buttocks down. Lift up through the sides of the chest. Roll your shoulders back. Extend your arms down. Tadasana, Samastiti. Look straight forwards. Raise your arms all the way upwards. Go all the way up with your arms. Press your heels downwards. Lengthen up through the sides of your body. Connect your arms to your side body. Reach your arms higher. Connect your fingers to your arms and make your arms taller. That's it. Now turn your palms outwards and bring your arms out to the sides and down. Very good. Okay, now we're going to use a wall for Vrikshasana. So watch. So now I'm just turning. I'll show in both ways. I want you to have your palms flat on the wall. Flat on the wall this way. I'm standing about a forearm's distance away from the wall. And then I just turn my right leg out and I lift my right foot up. This is fine for you, Natalie, to do. Okay, so my palms are flat on the wall. So sometimes we do it with the fingertips on the wall when we're focusing more on balance. I'm not focusing on balance today. So just have your palms flat. I'm focusing more on hip opening today. Okay, so stand in Tadasana. Bring your feet together about a forearm's distance from the wall. Turn your right leg out and then lift your right foot up. You can use your right hand to get your right ankle all the way up as high as you can onto the inner upper left thigh. Make sure that your left toes are going straight forwards and your right toes are going straight downwards. Make sure that your right hip isn't further back from the wall than your left hip. Bring your right hip as close to the wall as your left hip. Natalie, bring your right hip closer to the wall. Closer to the wall, right hip closer, that's it. Tadasanize your hips. So your hips are basically in Tadasana. So press more weight into your inner left heel. Lift up through your left kneecap and move your left hip in. So don't let your left hip go out to the side. Bring more weight to your inner left heel and push your inner left leg into your right foot and push your right foot into the right leg. Keep your right hip as close to the wall as your left hip. With your hands on the wall, pull the wall, paint on the wall downwards to get longer on the sides of your chest. That's it. Good. Okay, and now release and we'll do the second side. So bring your right foot down and bring your turn your left leg out and bring your left foot up. Remember, if your foot is slipping, you can put your sticky mat up into your inner right thigh. You can just put your sticky mat up into the thigh and it will help you just keep it there. Or something else you can use as well. Okay, so once you have your, make sure that your right toes are going straight forwards, your left toes are going straight downwards. And make sure that your left hip isn't further back than your right hip. Your left hip is as close to the wall as your right hip, yes. And make sure that your left hip isn't higher than your left hip. So is my left hip higher? Is my left hip further back? Don't allow that to be. Good, now once you have that, press more weight of your inner right heel down and lift up your right kneecap and bring your right hip in until you feel your right thigh, your right inner thigh, push into your left foot and then push your left heel into your right thigh. Yes. Bring your hands onto the wall, palms flat, and pull the wall downwards and lift up through the sides of your trunk. Good. Okay, and now release. We'll do the first side again. So bring your left foot down and bring your right leg up. Maybe you can get your right foot higher now. And go back to those first actions. So bring your right hip as close to the wall. Bring your right knee all the way to the wall. Bring your right knee all the way to the wall. That's it. That's it. Good. And then just bring your right hip a little bit back. Now your hips are even, Natalie. That's it. Now your hips are even. See if you can notice that difference. Before your right hip was way back, further back. Good. Now press more weight into your inner left heel. Bring your left hip in. Bring your left hip more in, Kristen. Move your left hip in. That's it. Suck it in. Move your left hip to the right. That's it. And push your left inner thigh into the right foot and push your right foot into the thigh. Good. Now, lengthen your right inner thigh out from your right inner groin. Lengthen it. Keeping your left thigh back. Move your left thigh back. So stand more in your left heel. Now, move your right buttocks forward. Bring your right buttocks forward towards the wall and move your right knee back away from the wall. Bring your right buttocks forward. Move your right hip further down, Tamar. Your right hip is higher than your left hip. Move the right buttocks forward and the right knee back. That's it. See if you can use your sticky mat up on your inner thigh, Camille, and you'll get a better pose. Just put your sticky mat all the way up in your left inner thigh, just the edge of that sticky mat. So right buttocks forward, right knee back, left thigh back. Yes, don't move your hip back, move your knee back. Isolate the knee. That's the way. Good. Camille, you can stay working on that side. That's fine. Everybody else, go to the second side. Yes, I hope that's making sense. So press your inner right heel down. If anyone ever needs a demo, just let me know. Just raise your hand and I'll gladly. Otherwise, it looks like it's coming. So turn your left leg out, bring your left foot up, all the way up into the inner thigh. And then check and see, press your inner right heel down, draw your outer right hip in. So the right hip is to move in. And then ask yourself, start with your left knee really close to the wall. Bring your left knee close to the wall so that your hips are even. The hips are even, and then you can just bring the left knee back a little bit. But keep your left hip down. Don't let your left hip be higher. Left hip is the same height. So as if you're standing in Tadasana. That's good. Now, Camille, switch sides. Switch sides. That's it. And get your left foot up. So as you press into the right inner foot, lift up your right kneecap and move your right thigh into your left foot. Move your left foot into your left thigh. Into your right thigh rather, and then keep your right thigh back, the front of your right thigh, shift back into your right heel. Natalie, move your left buttocks down, move your left buttocks down, 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 release it down, so it's higher than your right buttocks, that's it. And then bring your left buttocks forward towards the wall. The middle of your left buttocks, bring it forward, but move your left knee back by lengthening the left inner thigh. Lengthen that left inner thigh backwards. Make sure that your left foot is on the middle of your right inner thigh. Move. Your right thigh is coming way forward, Tamar. Your right thigh is coming forward. Move the right thigh back. Right thigh back. Left buttocks forward. Left knee back. Right thigh and left knee back. Left buttocks forward. Left buttocks forward until you feel some lengthening of that left inner thigh. Exactly there. That's it, Natalie. Very good. And now release. Super good. Okay, so let's come to the center of the mat. Have your blocks nearby. You can have your blocks, one on the right-hand side, one on the left-hand side. So stand in Tadasana. That's it. Bring your hands to the center of the chest and either step or jump your legs wide apart. Bring your feet all the way out under the hands. That's it. And the bricks are in front of your toes, right? The bricks are in front of your toes. Okay, so now turn the left foot in slightly. Turn the right leg all the way out. That's it. Good. Now inhale as you exhale, turn the left foot into the right leg out. I wasn't mirroring you. Now I am. Bend your right knee. Bring the right knee right over the ankle. Get the hip as low as you can. Get this hip down. That's it. Don't let your upper body do this, Kristen. Keep reaching back through that's it. Back through that left arm. Good. And open these up. So this leg is lengthening, just like tree pose. Bring your right buttocks forward. Move the right knee back. Right buttocks forward, right knee back. That's it. Straighten your left leg. Straighten that left leg. And then come up. Good. Okay. So inhale. As you exhale, once again, bend this knee, bend the knee, move this inner leg out, stretch this, bring the right buttocks forward, move the right knee back, move the left thigh back. So it's exactly like tree pose. It's exactly that same pose. And then come up. But now turn your right toes forward, inhale, and then exhale, turn the right foot in slightly, turn your whole left leg out from the top of the thigh. But don't let your right shoulder come forward. Now inhale. And if it feels too much for anybody, just work with your hands on the hips. That's completely fine. You can take the arms out of it because we're focusing on hips today. So bend the left knee. Get the left knee to come right over the ankle. Get your left hip, the root of your left thigh, as low as the knee, if you can do that. Straighten your right leg so it should feel like your legs are opening apart. That's it. And then bring your left buttocks forward, and your left knee back. Move the left knee back as you bring the left buttocks forward. Keep the right thigh moving back. Right thigh back, left buttocks forward, left knee back. That's it, and then come up. That's it. We'll do it one more time. Inhale. Exhale, come down. Yes, keep reaching back through that right arm. Nice, go down, go down. Right thigh back. Left buttocks forward, forward, forward. Tuck it under you. Move the left knee back. Lengthen this left inner thigh. Open up your hips and then come up. Turn your left foot in. Step or jump your legs back together. Stand in Tadasana. Feel that circulation in your hips. Good, so press your feet down. That's it. Move your thighs back. Move your buttocks down. Thighs back, buttocks down. Lift up through your chest. Bring your hands to the center of the chest. Step your legs apart or jump your legs wide apart. Good, now this is where we'll use the bricks. Some of you will use the bricks. So turn your left foot in slightly. Turn your whole right leg out from the top of the thigh. Keep turning these legs out. Go back to warrior two. Now you reach all the way out. Get your right ribs down. Bring your right hand down on the inside of your foot. You can use a block there, or the very minimum fingertips. Bring your left hand onto the hip. Bring your left hand onto the hip. Yes, so get your right hip lower, down, left hand to the hip. Get your right hip as low as your knee. That's it, which might require moving the left leg further back. But don't let your inner left leg drop to the floor. Keep the pressing into the outer edge of your left foot. Lift your inner left leg up. Good. Now with your left thigh back, just like the standing leg in tree pose, right? Move your left thigh back. Use your right arm to help you lengthen that right inner thigh. Lengthen that right inner thigh from the inner groin to the inner right knee. And now bring your right buttocks forward and bring your right knee back away from the arm. Right buttocks forward, right knee back away from the arm. You won't be able to do it, but that's the actions. Yes, roll the left shoulder way back. Lift your head and your chest. Get your right ribs on the inside of that leg. Now lift up your left arm and come up out of the pose. Excellent. Turn your right foot in. Bring your hands to the hips. Deepen your breath. Swallow some saliva to keep your throat lubricated. Yeah, if you need to bring your legs together and then go back out, completely fine. I'll leave that to you. Otherwise, raise your arms and we'll do the other side. So turn your right foot slightly in. Turn your whole left leg out from the top of the thigh. Good, so take a deeper inhalation as you exhale. Bend your left knee. Virabhadrasana 2 is the entryway for Utthita Parsva Konasana. That's it, yes. Now reach all the way out. Bring your left hand down to the floor or to a block, right near the inner left heel. Bring your right hand onto the hip. So with your left knee right over the ankle, get your left hip as low as your left knee, if you can do it, okay? But straighten your right leg, push it back. It's just like the standing leg in Vrikshasana. Move the right thigh back. Use your left arm to encourage the left inner thigh to elongate. The left inner hip, elongate it from your left inner hip to the left inner knee. And then bring your left buttocks forward and move your left knee back. Bring your left hip lower if you can, Kristen. Bring your left hip lower. Yes. Move your left knee back. Move your right shoulder back. Move your head back. Yes, left buttocks forward, but your arm becomes a break, doesn't it? Yes, now lift up your right arm, press your outer right foot and come up out of the pose. Excellent. Turn your left foot in. Good. Okay, so step or jump your legs back together. And then Natalie, I think that's enough of the heavy work for you. So now what I want you to do, Natalie, for the next one, this is only for Natalie. I want you to do Ardha Chandrasana with your back to the wall. So this, you'll do Ardha Chandrasana for Natalie. Otherwise, I think that was enough work. Everybody else, we're going to do Parsvakonasana Classic. Okay? So stand in Tadasana. I know some of you probably want to do Ardha Chandrasana. Okay, so bring your feet together. That's it. And then stand, bring your hands to the center of the chest, and then step or jump the legs wide apart. Bring your feet all the way out under the hands. That's it. Good. Now turn your left foot slightly in, turn your whole right leg out. Inhale more deeply as you exhale, bend the knee, reach all the way out, and then bring your hand down. Now it comes to the little toe side of the foot. Reach this left arm up. So move the left thigh back, press the outer edge of the left foot so this inner left leg lifts. Move your right knee back. into your arm. Bring the right buttocks forward. Reach up through the left arm, turn the top arm, and then extend it towards the back of your ear. That's it. Keep pressing the outer edge of your back foot. Don't let your head succumb. Pull your head so that you can use your head to lengthen the spine. Good. Left thigh back, right knee back, right buttocks forward. Very good. Lift up your left arm and come up out of the pose. Excellent. Turn your right foot in, bring your hands to the hips, deepen your breath, swallow saliva. Very good. Now raise your arms and we'll do the other side. So inhale more deeply as you exhale. Turn your right foot in slightly, turn your whole left leg out from the top of the thigh. Inhale, and as you exhale, bend your left knee and then reach all the way out and bring your left hand down and reach your right arm up. So focus first on your right leg. Press the outer edge of your right foot. Move your right thigh back. Lift the inner right leg. That's it. Move your left knee back into your left arm. Bring your left buttocks forward. Bring your right ribs back. Turn your top arm. Inhale. And as you exhale, extend it further and further out. You can even look up under that right underarm. That's the way. Nice, Camille. Beautiful. Left knee back. Right thigh back, left buttocks forward. Beautiful. Lift up your right arm and come up out of the pose. Excellent. Turn your left foot in, step or jump your legs together. Okay, good. Now, stand with your feet hip distance apart. Heels wider than toes. Bring your hands to the hips and come down. Bring your hands under your shoulders. You can use blocks there. Lift your chest. So first you have to get that concavity to come in your back. Pull the breastbone forward, move the shoulder blades into the back ribs. Keep your hips right over the ankles. Then take your hands wide apart and down. And when you take your hands wide this time, turn your fingernails away from each other. Turn your fingernails away from each other and move your hands as far out as you can possibly go, away from each other, almost like wings. That's it. Keep your head down. Bring the hips right over the ankles. And then some of you can also move the hands back a little bit so they come more outside the feet. But keep your fingernails moving away from each other. Take the head down, hands further and further apart. Move your buttock bones forward. Bring your side ribs down. Bring your head down. You should feel an intense stretch in the backs of your legs. That means the pose is working. Now bring your hands to the hips. Reach the chest forward and up you come. Very good. Okay, now put your, Natalie, this one is fine for you to do. Put your blocks on the right-hand side of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips. Step your right foot in between the blocks. Step your left leg out. See that your feet are all the way out under your wrists. Bring your hands to the hips. Turn your left foot and your left leg in. Turn your right leg all the way out. And turn towards the right with your hips, your chest, and your head. Press your heels down. Pull your kneecaps up. Draw your right hip back, your left hip forward. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest and look upwards. And then start to come forwards. Bring your hands down to the blocks. Have the blocks at the highest level. Press your heels down, draw your kneecaps up, draw the right hip backwards, draw the left hip forwards, and press your hands into the blocks, lift your chest, inhale, and now walk the blocks as far forward as you can go. Go forward with the blocks all the way, and then let your head come down like downward dog. So bring the blocks all the way forward. Make sure that your right leg is straight, Kristen. Press that inner right foot down. Draw your outer right hip back. Yes, press the outer edge of your left foot down. Draw your outer left hip forward. Yes. Move your left ribs down towards your inner right knee. Lift your right ribs up. Walk the blocks further forward, Camille, if you can. Further forward. Yes, walk the blocks back. That's it. Bring your hands to the hips. Reach the chest forward and come up. Very good. Turn your right foot in. Move your blocks to the other side. Move the blocks this way. Make sure that your feet are still out under your wrists. Bring your hands to the hips. Turn your right foot and your right leg in, turn your left leg out. Press your heels down. Draw the kneecaps up. Bring the left hip back and the right hip forward. Lift up through the sides of your chest. Roll your shoulders back, look upwards, and then start to come forwards. Bring your hands down to your blocks and straighten your legs by pressing the heels down, pulling the kneecaps up. Even out your hips by drawing the left hip back, keeping the left inner foot down, drawing the right hip forward. Have the blocks right under your shoulders and lift your chest. Make your upper back into upward facing dog, a backward bend in your upper back. Straighten your legs. Now inhale and now exhale. Walk the blocks as far forward as you can go. And then bring your head down in between your arms like downward facing dog pose. Keep pressing the inner edge of your left foot down, that left big toe mound. Draw your left hip back. Even more, Natalie, draw that left hip back, left hip further back, right hip further forward. Draw that left hip back, that's it. And then lengthen the sides of your trunk, walk the blocks further forward. That's it, Camille, beautiful. Fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Excellent, bring the blocks back under the shoulders. Press your heels down, bring your hands to the hips, and come on up. But turn your left foot in, bring your legs back together, stand in Tadasana. Good. That's it, move the thighs back. Bring the buttocks down and lift your chest up. Good, one more time on the first side. So bring the blocks this way. Bring your hands to the hips and then take your arms and your legs wide apart. Bring your feet under the wrists, maybe a little bit wider than that, depending. Bring your hands to the hips. Turn your left foot and your left leg in. Turn your right leg all the way out. Turn your hips, your chest, and your head to the right. Draw the right hip back, the left hip forward. Lift up through the sides of your chest. Roll your shoulders back. Without leaning backwards, look upwards from your chest. And then come forwards and bring your hands down to your blocks. Straighten your legs. Lift the kneecaps, press the heels down, even out your hips. Draw the right hip back and the left hip forward. Push the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Lift your chest. Good. Now, turn your hands outwards on the blocks like we did for that Uttanasana. So your fingernails are going outwards, and then move the blocks as wide as you can. Move the blocks as wide as you can out to the sides, and then move the blocks as low as you can, and then bring your upper body down on top of your right leg. That's it, with your hands wide and your fingernails turned outwards on the floor or on blocks. Yes, go out. Your hands are right in line with your shoulders. Keep lengthening your whole body onto that right leg. Straighten that right leg. That's it. Move the right hip back. Draw the left hip forward. Turn the abdomen from the left side to the right side. That's it. Now bring the hands back under the shoulders. Press your heels down. Bring your hands to the hips and come up out of the pose. Excellent. Turn your right foot in. Move the blocks to the second side. Raise your arms and make sure that your feet are all the way out under your wrists. Bring your hands to the hips. Turn your right foot and your right leg deeply in. Turn your left leg all the way out. Turn your hips, your chest, and your head to the left. Straighten your legs. Draw the left hip back, the right hip forward. Lift through the sides of the trunk. Roll the shoulders back without leaning backwards. Lift your chest and then come forwards. And bring your hands down to those blocks. And straighten your legs. Press the heels down. Steer the left hip back and the right hip forward. Pull the sides of your trunk forward. Move your shoulder blades into your back ribs. Excellent. Now turn your fingernails outwards and move the blocks as wide as you can go. Maybe move the blocks lower down. Inhale, and then exhale. Take your upper body over your left leg. So now you're forward bending. The head goes down. That's it. Take your hands as wide. Maybe they're on blocks. Maybe they're on the floor. Fingernails outwards. Hands right in line with the shoulders. Keep surrendering the upper body down over that left leg. Move the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Left hip back, right hip forward. Abdomen turns from the right side to the left side. Now bring the blocks right under the shoulders. Lift your chest. Bring your hands to the hips. and come on up. Excellent. Okay, Prasarita Padottanasana. So you can move the blocks to the side, unless some of you might need them for your hands. We'll do both. We'll do Adho Mukha when we walk the hands forward, and then we'll do the classic pose, walking the hands back. So we'll do both at the same time. So bring your heels to the back edge of your mat. Bring your hands to the hips, and either step or jump your legs apart. Keep your heels in line with the back edge of your mat. Lift up your arms and make sure that your feet are all the way out under your hands. Heels wider than toes. So now you're going back to that wider place. Bring your hands to the hips. Press your heels down. Roll your shoulders back. The same thing. Without leaning backwards, lift your chest, come upwards, and then come forwards. Bring your hands down under your shoulders, on your palms or your fingertips or blocks. Whatever you need to get rid of any roundness in your upper back. So lift your chest forward, pull your collarbones forward, move your shoulder blades into the back ribs. That's it. Keep your hips right over your ankles, and then walk your hands all the way forward on bricks or on the floor or on fingertips. Walk the hands all the way forward, but don't let your hips come forward. And just like we did for the child's pose and the first downward dog, look forward and move your inner groins backwards. Move your inner groins backwards, the top inner groins. Move your outer hips backwards. Yes. So your hips are right over the ankles. Inner groins, outer hips back. That's it. Now you can bring your head down in between your arms. Lengthen the sides of your trunk. Some of you can stay here. Others of you, walk your hands back. Bend your elbows. Bring your hands all the way back in line with the sticky mat. And bring your head down to the floor. Have your wrists under your elbows. Have your wrists, elbows, and shoulders the same distance apart. Make sure that you're resting on the crown of your head. Lift your shoulders up. Straighten the legs fully. Press the outer edges of your feet down. Spread your inner knees apart. Keep moving the inner groins back and the outer hips back. Good. Now lift up your head. Rock your hands forward right under the shoulders. Shuffle your feet a little bit closer together. Bring your hands to the hips and come up. Very good. Okay. And then put a blanket down this way in the center of your mat. Have your two blocks available and take downward dog with your hands in front of the blanket and your feet behind the blanket. We're going to do a lunge position. So take downward facing dog with your feet at least as wide as your hands, maybe wider. That's it. Good. Okay, now come down onto the knees, onto the blanket, and then bring your right foot up to the right side of your mat. So the right foot will come to the right side of your mat, and your hands are on the inside. They can be on blocks, that's fine. Your hands can be on the inside. That's it, and then bring your right forearm down to the floor, or use blocks, and bring your left forearm down to the floor. So you're bringing the forearms down onto something. Make sure that both forearms are down. Don't let one forearm be hanging in space. You should feel some stretching on your groins. Yes, some of you can move the left knee further back. Point your left foot. That's it. Inhale. Keep your inner edge of your right foot pressing down so that your right knee doesn't go out to the side. You can turn the right foot out if you need to a little bit, but don't let the knee drop out to the side. Keep pressing the inner edge of your right foot down. Inhale, and now exhale. Bring your hips forward. Bring your hips forward, forward, forward. Maybe move your elbows further forward. Deepen your breath and release that inner groin down. Yes. Let the gravity help you open up the hips. Can you bring your forearms down, Camille? Bring your forearms down on the inside of that. There you go. That's the way. Very good. And then come on up. Very good. You can take downward dog in between sides. Good. And then inhale. As you exhale, bring the knees down and then bring your left foot up outside your left hand. So bring the left foot out to the left edge of your mat. The left foot is wide on the left edge of the mat. Turn your left foot out if you need to a little bit, and then bring your forearms down, your left forearm and then your right forearm down. If you can't reach the floor, put something under your forearms, blocks, bolsters, whatever you have to work with. And then once you're in the pose, see if you can move your right knee further back. Keep the inner edge of your left foot down. Inhale, and then as you exhale, see if you can bring your hips further forward without being aggressive. Let the inner left groin release. Make sure that both of your forearms are evenly down. That's it. Good, let gravity help you. Maybe move your elbows, your forearms further forward to go deeper into the pose. This is a stretching pose, the lizard stretching pose. That's it. Good. And then release, and again, go back into downward facing dog pose. You can move the blanket to the side. We don't need that any longer. Downward dog. Good. And then walk your feet towards your hands and your hands towards your feet. So you're coming to the center of the mat. And then see if you can bring your feet together now. Stay down. Stay down. See if you can bring your feet together. Hands under the shoulders or on bricks, and lift your chest. Lift your chest upwards. That's it. Now, if this feels too much stretch for you, take your feet again apart, hip distance apart, with the outer edges of your feet parallel. Otherwise, find upward facing dog in your upper back. Straighten your legs by pressing the heels down, pulling the inner legs up, draw the outer legs up. That's it. And again, now turn your fingernails outwards like we did several times, and then take your hands as wide as you can go, all the way wide, and then take your head and your chest down. Hands wide apart, fingernails going away from each other, straighten the legs. Bring your buttock bones towards your head side, more Estelle. Buttock bones forward, buttock bones forward. That's the way, yes. And hitting the top of the thighs back. Take your hands wider, lift the back of the abdomen up, connect it to the spine. Inhale, exhale, take your ribs down. Take your hands wider, as wide as you can go. Take your head to your feet. Nice, Marie, that's excellent. It's a deep forward bend pose. Uttanasana. Move your hips a little bit further forward, Camille, just a little bit. Very good. Now bring your hands under the shoulders. Lift your chest upwards. Bring your hands to the hips and come up. Excellent. That's it. Take a deep breath in and out in Tadasana, feeling the effects of those standing postures. And now those of you who do headstand, get ready for headstand. If you're not doing headstand today, do Supta Baddha Konasana. Supta Baddha Konasana. So you'll have your spine on a bolster. You can have a blanket for your head. And you can have blocks for your outer legs. Or if you have another configuration that you prefer, that's fine. And if you know how to work with the belt, you can of course work with the belt. So this is Supta Baddha Konasana. Nice. That's really good, Kristen. Bring the blanket all the way to the top of your shoulders and bring your chin a little bit lower. Yes, that's the way. Perfect. Good. Headstanders, press down into the floor with your forearms and your wrists and lift your inner shoulders upwards. Get taller on the sides of the trunk. Good. The pose is light. The head is lightly down. It's not heavily down. It's lightly down. It's resting. Good. Now roll the legs in. Roll your left leg in more, Camille, and then scrub your heels upwards. Scrub your heels upwards. So remember the hinge of your heel. Can you reach it up? Can you reach the hinge of your heel up? So you're reaching the calf muscles up from the back of the knee upwards. That's it. Move the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Keep the tailbone in. Tailbone is in. Great. Those of you in Supta Baddha Konasana, you can raise your arms upwards, lengthen the sides of your trunk, and then hold your elbows, pulling back and pulling down with your forearms, moving the shoulder blades into your back, and then you switch in your own time. Headstanders with your shoulders lifting, the front ribs back, the buttocks goes up to the heels. That's it. Once you have that length on the back of the leg, lift the ball of the foot a little bit higher than the heel now, without losing any of that length on the back of your leg. Fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Let your breath be soft and smooth. Camille, that's really good. Just roll that left leg in. Your left leg tends to go. That's it. Roll the inner left leg back towards the wall. Good. Those of you in Supta Baddha Konasana, keep letting your abdomen, your internal organs relax and let them receive the energy. That pose, Supta Baddha Konasana, takes the energy away from the limbs into the organic body. Keep streaming the legs upwards. Now, those of you in Supta Baddha Konasana, bring your arms back alongside your body. And then those of you in headstand, keep your shoulders lifting, prepare to come down out of the pose, one leg at a time, and rest in child's pose. Good. Now, those of you in Supta Baddha Konasana, press your hands down, lead with your chest to come up out of the pose, and then stretch out your legs or take off your belt first and then stretch out your legs. Okay, and then everybody come on up and let's sit now in Upavishta Konasana with your legs extended out. So we'll sit in Upavishta Konasana. Make sure to have some blocks around you, have your belt around you. I'm not sure if you'll need the belt, but just in case, and have some blankets around you. Just basically have your props around you. So this is Upavishta Konasana with your legs wide apart. And then see if you need to sit up on some height. If your back is falling backwards, sit up on the corner of a blanket so you have some elevation. For your hips, if you find that your hips are, buttocks is falling back, if your legs kind of roll out, you know that you need height. You know that you need height. And then once you're there, take your right leg a little bit wider, take your left leg a little bit wider. And then take your fingers onto the back of the right thigh and spread the skin. Pull the skin out. So you're widening the back of your thigh, widen the back of the knee, widen the back of the calf muscle. So that there's a widening, and then your right kneecap should be going down. Your right toes are going straight upwards. Then do the same thing. Before you go to this left side, notice that difference, how that leg is further down. Now spread the back of the thigh. Spread it out, calf muscle. Make sure that your knees are going down, your left toes are going straight upwards. And then bring your fingertips behind you, like we did at the very beginning of the class. And then lift up through the sides of the trunk. Roll your shoulders back. So move your thighs down and move the backs of your knees into the floor. So remember how the back of the knee was opening in that Uttanasana that we did with the sticky mat under the balls of the feet? It's one of the reasons why we did that, to help open up the backs of the knees. So think of the backs of your knees like suction cups and they're going down. So roll your shoulders back. And in fact, Extend your inner heels forward. Get the knees all the way down. You can lift up your heels. Draw the toes back. Draw the toes back towards the knees to get the back of the knee down. Keep that. Now bring your heels down and reach the balls of your foot slightly forward without letting the knees come up. And there's a lengthening here of the inner thighs all the way out to those inner heels, and there's a drawing back from the outer knees into the outer hips. That's it. Bring your fingertips behind you. Now, hold on to your inner knees and bring your legs into Baddha Konasana and adjust your height. So if you find that your knees are really high, your back is falling, sit higher up. Open up the insides of your feet, and then bring your fingertips behind you. And get your feet as close to your hips as you can, unless you feel any tension in your knees, and then don't bring the feet so far forward. But if your knees are up like this, sit up on a blanket or two, and sit on the corner of the blanket. That's it. Bring your fingertips behind you. Press your heels into each other. So this position has a lot of different actions. The first action is a lengthening. It's like tree pose, but on both legs. This has to lengthen the inner thigh, inner groin to the inner knee. The leg has to turn out. There has to be a turning out of the leg. And then the outer knees draw back into the outer hips. And then the outer thighs go down to the floor. See if you can get your outer thighs all the way down to the floor. If you can touch the floor with your outer thighs, then you bring your big toe mounds and your inner heels together. But not if your thighs are not touching the floor. That's it. So get the thighs to touch the floor. Good. Okay, and then go back to Upavishta Konasana. Take your legs wide apart. Get those legs to go down. That's it. Suck the knees down and then raise the arms upwards. Go all the way up, interlace your fingers above you. So move the thighs down and go up with your arms. You can see if this feels good, Natalie, you can continue, otherwise just keep your hands down. Don't get overheated. So move the thighs down with the sides of your chest upwards. Reach your wrist upwards. Good. Notice as you go up, don't the knees want to come up? Move them down. And then bring your arms out to the sides and down. Good. Now bring your knees back together, or hold on to your knees, bring the bottoms of your feet together. But you're going to put a block at the medium level, this level, in between your feet. So adjust your height. Each of these poses, you have to adjust your height up or down. And for this pose, you can just have your hands, but your fingernails can go backwards or fingernails can go outwards. You can see what gives you the most support. I like to have my fingernails going backwards, but you can see, just make it a personal choice. Bring your hips as close to the block as you can. Again, let the inner edges of your feet come away from that block. Press your heels into that block. And then redo these actions of lengthening from here to here. And then this has to turn out. The inner leg goes to the outer leg, and then suck back from the outer knees into the outer hips. And then move your outer thighs closer and closer to the floor. Try to touch the floor with your outer thighs without bouncing. Press your heels into that block. Spread the inner thighs. Make sure that your lower back is not falling backwards. If it is, please care for yourself enough to sit on some height. That's it. Good. And now release, Upavishta Konasana. Maybe you can go a little bit wider. Maybe the legs are a little bit further down. Get the legs to go down, fingertips behind you, suck those kneecaps down into the floor. And then raise your arms upwards, but don't let the thighs come up. Isn't that interesting how they come up? Interlace your fingers above you the less habitual way. Turn your palms upwards. Keep descending the thighs, lifting the side body, reaching up through your wrists, relaxing your jaw, your tongue. And then bring your arms out to the sides and down. Yeah, see, I noticed that my legs came up a little bit, so it's Very difficult to keep those legs out, or you have to work on that focus. So bring your legs back together, but now put the block. If that felt like it was a lot, stay at this level. Otherwise, move to this level. Now the block is flat. Again, adjust your height. Care for yourself if you need to sit up on some height. Make sure these inner groins are moving down. So don't let this happen. Don't let the groins go up. Move the inner groins down. This has to go down. So press your heels into that block and then spread the inner thighs out. Use your hands behind you, fingernails backwards or forwards or outwards, whatever gives you the most support. Try to squish the brick with your heels. Spread the inner thighs out, away from the inner groins. Turn the legs outwards, and then draw the outer knees back into the outer hips. And move your outer thighs closer and closer to the floor. Use your breath. Good. Okay, and then release. Upavishta Konasana. These are sister poses. Upavishta Konasana, Upavishta Konasana. Put one block. You can keep it at the lower level, but turn it sideways and bring it right in here. Right into your pelvic floor. Have the other block in front of you. Maybe at the highest level. Adjust your legs as needed. So get the backs of the legs down and then bring your hands forward. So this block here at your pelvis is helping you not let your legs roll in or out. Keep your kneecaps going straight upwards. Keep your toes going straight upwards. The outer thighs have to roll down. As you bring your hands forward, lift your chest, move your back ribs in, and then maybe you can bring your head down to that block. Some of you can move the block lower. That's it. Let me come and see what I'm dealing with. So press the outer thighs down, draw the outer knees back into the outer hips, extend the inner thighs out. Just have your arms forward. Don't worry about holding onto the toes for now. Just have the arms forward like downward dog. Yes, like downward dog. That's it, Marie. Good. Keep moving the thighs down, the backs of the knees down. Some of you can move the head block lower, probably. Yes. Keep that other block right up against your pelvic floor. Move the block higher. If you can't get your head down to the block, move it higher. And then just go ahead and put your lower block under your head block, Natalie, so you have something to rest your head on. Yes, that's it. Now you can rest your head. There you go. That's it. Good. Good. And then walk your hands back right alongside your head. Press your hands down and come up out of the pose. Super good. Now bring your legs, move the bricks to the side, and then bring your legs into Swastikasana. So let's draw the right leg in first, draw the left leg in second. Swastikasana. So this is the pose we start class with, right? See if you need any height. Maybe you can sit a little bit lower. I mean, if the knees are, see my knees are a little bit higher than my hips, but it's fine. I don't feel like it's tightening here. If you feel like it's gripping here, it's better to sit up on some props and sit towards the back of the props. Some of you might need blocks in front of you, so come forward. Lift your chest and then come all the way forward. Come all the way forward. That's it. And as you walk your hands further and further forward, move your thighs down. Draw your abdomen back. Go all the way forward. Yeah, if you need blocks under the hands, that's fine. Your legs you're just going straight in between the legs. Beautiful. And then walk your hands back. Okay, and then turn to the right side. Varsa. Spread your elbows away from each other. Your right fingernails are back. Lift up to the sides of your chest. Inhale, and as you exhale, come back. Turn to the left. Turn to the left. Lift your chest upwards. Okay, now watch. When I turn now, I'm going to go back to the right side. I'm centering my breastbone over my right knee, and then I'm coming forward. But watch, when I come forward, these ribs are going up. So I have to keep reaching this arm forward, bring this hand back a little bit so I can turn these ribs down and lift these ribs up. I have to get that turn to come, okay? And then I can re-extend the arm. Okay, so let's try that. Turn so that your breastbone is centered over your right knee, and then come forward over the right knee. So your left arm is on the inner right knee, your right arm is on the out, and then notice how these left ribs are back. So keep your left hand where it is, bring your right hand back, push down into the floor with your right hand, lift your right ribs up, turn your left ribs down, and turn your abdomen over that right thigh. And then once you have that turn, re-extend the right arm. That's it. This is Parivrita Swastikasana. Go all the way down, go all the way forward. Reach that left arm further and further forward. Bring your upper body onto your legs. Bring your upper body down onto the legs, all the way forward. That's it. Good. And now come back up. Turn so that your breastbone is centered over your left knee. Inhale. As you exhale, go forward. Feel free to have blocks under the hands. That's fine. And then once you go forward, really study, become aware for yourself how these right ribs are back. So bring your left hand back alongside your knee, push into the floor with your left hand, lift your left ribs up, move your right ribs down, and turn your abdomen over your left thigh. And then once you have that, then re-extend the left arm and keep going forward. It's a forward bend. Go all the way down over your legs. It's also a twist. Right ribs down, left ribs up. Use your exhalation. Very good. And then come back up. Excellent. Okay, and then switch the cross of your legs. So bring your left leg in, bring your right leg in second. Good. And then come forward. So you're just coming forward. Make sure that those twists, you're not going too deep into them, Natalie. I think they should be fine. They're gentle twists, but make sure you don't get too aggressive. If they feel too much for you, just stay in this pose with your arms forward. So move the thighs down, draw the abdomen back. Natalie, don't worry about the abdominal movement. Just let the abdomen do what it needs to do. That's it. Yes. Good. And then come up and turn to the right in an upright position. Turn to the right. That's it. This is Parsva. That's it. Move your head back, lift your shoulders up. Bring your left hand to the outer right thigh, near to the knee. Turn all the way around. Get your left ribs as far to the right as your right ribs are. Roll the right shoulder back, head up. That's it. Now come back to the center and then go to the left. Go to the left. Some of you could turn even more. Get those right ribs to come all the way around. Bend your elbows. Plug your upper arms into your shoulder blades. Lift your chin. That's it. Good. And then come back. That's it. Now center yourself over your right knee and then come forward over the right knee. And then again, when you come forward over that right knee, notice how the left ribs are hanging back. So bring your right hand back, press into the floor with your right fingertips. Lift your right ribs up, move your left ribs down, turn your abdomen over your right thigh. And then once you have that, re-extend that right arm out. Go all the way out. Yes. Good. Left ribs up, right ribs down. Beautiful. And then come back to the center. Center yourself over the left knee and come forward over that left knee. And then as you do that, notice how your right ribs are hanging back. So bring your left hand back, press into the floor with your left fingertips, lift up your left ribs. Yes, move the right ribs down, turn your abdomen over the left thigh, and then re-extend the left arm. Keep going further and further out, let your head come down. Move those right ribs even more down, Kristen. Right ribs down, left ribs, there you go, that's it. Good, and then come back to the center. Very good. And take your legs back into Upavishta Konasana. Take your legs back into Upavishta Konasana, one of our close friends, right, at this point. So see if it's coming any better. Okay, and now we're going to turn in this pose. Okay, so this is Parsva. So watch what I do. Just watch first. It's probably a new pose for you. So I come up, I turn, and I bring my hands here. This is stage 1. Okay, this is stage 2. And then this is stage 3. I hold on to my outer foot. Of course, you can use a belt. But here, can you see how these ribs are way back? So I have to do the same thing. I have to use my fingertips to move these ribs around towards this inner knee. So I have to turn, and first we'll just come to the concave back. I have to do all of that without letting this leg roll in. It wants to roll in. Okay, so let's do that together. Get ready. Press your legs down, raise your arms upwards. Inhale, turn to the right, keeping your left leg straight. Bring your hands down. Stage 1. Your left hand is in front of your pubic bone. Your right hand is behind the tailbone. Fingernails backwards. Stage 2, bring your left hand onto the outer thigh. That's it. You can stay at any of these stages. Stage 3, bring your right hand forward outside the knee. Bring your left hand onto the outer foot or use a belt. Use a belt. Don't let your head go down. Look upwards. So push your right fingertips down and move your right ribs back and your left ribs forward. So your breastbone is centered over that knee, and lift your chest. Don't let your left leg roll in. Keep rolling the outer left leg down. You're looking upwards. You can do all this with us, Natalie, unless you feel fatigued, and then you can rest your head. Yeah, that's it. You can. This is fine for you. And then come on up. Good. Okay? So let's go to the other side. Unless if it feels not good for you, then do what you were doing before, Natalie. That's fine. Just rest your head. Come to the forward bending. Otherwise, you can do the upright version. So raise your arms upwards. Go up and then turn. You can do this one, Natalie, or even this one. Okay. Everybody else, come forward. Hold on to the outer foot. Yes. Your left hand is out to the side. So lift your chest. And then notice how these right ribs are way back. Push your left hand down, draw the right ribs down, move the left ribs back. Lift your head and your chest, but don't let your right leg roll in. Don't let your right leg roll in, and then come up. Excellent. Okay, so raise your arms up again. That's it, turn. That's it, and return to wherever you left off. That's it, lift your chest. So push the floor with the right hand, move the right ribs back, the left ribs forward towards the inner knee, but don't let your left leg roll in. And then hold on to your right foot with both of your hands, and then bend forward over that right leg. Bend forward over the right leg. Parsva Upavishta Konasana. Yes. Don't let your left leg roll in. Move the left ribs down, lift the right ribs up. Bend your elbows out to the sides. Yes. And then come up out of the pose. Well done, everybody. I think that's a new pose for some of you. Parsva Upavishta Konasana. Okay, so raise your arms upwards. Go down with your legs. Connect your legs down. Turn. And then find where you left off. Maybe stage 1, maybe stage 2, maybe you're here. And then use this position to adjust your ribs. Right ribs down, left ribs back. And then once you have that adjustment and you're turning the abdomen over this left leg, your breastbone is centered over the knee. Hold the foot with your hands and then come forward over that left leg. Bend forward over the left leg. That's the way. Move your right ribs down, left ribs up. Nice, Marie, beautiful. Bend your elbows, pull on the foot. Nice, Tamar, very good. Yeah, once you have, now hold with both hands, Tamar. Hold that belt or your foot with both hands. That's it, yes, that's fine for you. Good, right ribs down even more, Estelle. And then come on up, very good. Okay, one more time, we'll come forward. Okay, so raise your arms upwards. Now we're coming to the classic pose. So you come down and you hold onto your big toes. If you can't reach to the big toes, maybe bring your feet a little bit closer together. If you still can't reach, hold onto your ankles. That's fine. Lift your chest. That's it. And then start to come forward and bring your head down. You might need a block for your head. You might need a block for your head. Otherwise, bring your forehead to the floor. Forehead to the floor or forehead to a block. Bend your elbows out to the sides. Don't let your legs roll in. Don't let your legs roll in. Bend your elbows out to the sides and up. That's the way. Press your legs down. Beautiful. Keep pushing your toes into your fingers and then pulling on your toes with your fingers, all of your fingers, index fingers, middle fingers, and thumbs. Beautiful, you guys. Roll the outer thighs down. Bring your hands alongside your head and come up out of the pose. Excellent. Very, very good. Okay, now swing your legs around to the left side. You can put your block under your right hip. Put your block under the right sitting bone and bring your legs around to the left. Have your other block behind you for Bharabhadrasana. Okay, so my legs look like this. My left ankle is in my right arch, and both of my hips are both of my feet are to the left, and the block is just under my right sitting bone. That's it. There's nothing under my left sitting bone. And then turn to the right. You can do this, Natalie. It's fine for you. That's it. Yeah, turn. That's it. So move the left hip down, draw the abdomen back, turn, lift your chest, and turn. Keep moving the right hand, move the block further back so you can get more turn. Right ribs back, left ribs forward. Right, left hip down, lift your chin, and then come back to the center. Okay, and then swing your legs forward and then around to the other side. And then the block will just come under your left sitting bone. Bring your legs around to the right side. So your right ankle is in your left arch. The block is just under your left sitting bone. Keep your hips even. That's it. And then turn to the left side without letting your right hip come up. Move the left block way back behind your right buttocks, maybe even further back. Yes. So spread your elbows, move the right hip down, shift your body weight to the right. Draw your abdomen back, lift your chest, and turn. Turn your abdomen, turn your ribs, lift your chin and your chest. Pull on your knee with your right hand, use the block with your left hand, and then release. Excellent. Okay, and then stretch out your legs. And we'll do Chatuspadasana. So put your belt around the front of your ankles. And since we have these blocks here, let's use blocks under the feet. So if your blocks tend to slide, then put your blocks against a wall. Otherwise, have your blocks on your mat and have your hips close to the blocks and have a belt around the front of your ankles. So this is the starting position. Make sure that your hips are pretty close to the blocks. Again, if you know that your blocks tend to slide, then just put your blocks against the wall and do it with your feet on the blocks near to a wall. You can do this one, Natalie, it's fine. Turn the tops of your arms out and raise your hips up. Raise your hips up. Pull the arms down and then lift and open up your inner groins. Open up those inner groins. Yes, lift the hips all the way up. Hips up, tailbone up, hips higher. Hips higher. Make sure that your feet are as wide as your shoulders. Blocks are as wide as the shoulders. Lift those hips, Camille. Lift. Open the fronts of the hips. Climb up onto the top of your shoulders. Top of the shoulders. That's it. And then bring your shin bones back. Good. And then come down slowly. That's it. We'll do that again. So turn the tops of the arms out. If you can get your hips any closer to the bricks, do so. You can have your heels a little bit wider than the toes on the bricks. And then raise your hips up. Raise your hips up. That's it. Turn the tops of your arms outwards. Lift your shoulder blades up. Climb up onto the top of the shoulders. Nice, Kristen. That's it. And think of opening up the backs of your knees by moving your shin bones back, pulling the backs of the knees into the buttocks, lifting the outer thighs upwards. Nice. And then come down. Excellent. Very good. Okay, now, those of you who do shoulder stand, get ready for shoulder stand. Otherwise, just put your legs up onto the wall and rest with your hips up on a bolster on the wall. Natalie, you're going to do Setu Bandha. Anyone else who wants to do Setu Bandha, you can do this with Natalie as well. So you have three choices. Setu Bandha, Vipariti Karani, which is the legs up the wall with height. Otherwise, you can do shoulder stand with a chair or classic. So notice I have these two blocks here. This is for Natalie. I have two blocks at one edge of my mat. And then I have my bolster here. And under my bolster, I have a folded blanket, a rectangle blanket this way. So I just have a little bit more height. So I have a rectangle blanket, basically the size of the bolster, under the bolster. Okay, and then I sit at the front edge of my bolster. And these blocks should be just about a leg's distance back. So because when you come up, you're going to put your feet on those blocks just like that. So that's the measurement. And then watch what I do. I just bring my spine onto this bolster. And then I bring my shoulders, just my shoulders onto the floor. My shoulders come to the floor this way, and I bring my feet up onto those blocks. So I would have to come up and move the blocks closer. So that wasn't the ideal measurement. Okay, so I just move the blocks closer. So I bring my shoulders onto the floor, and then I bring my feet onto those blocks. That's better for me. Yes, that's it. And I rest. Okay, if you need to come up and down a few times like I did, that's fine. And otherwise, your legs are up the wall or you're in shoulder balance. Beautiful, Estelle. That's it. Walk your hands down your back, lift your hips up and move your hips forward. Nice. You're reaching up through the legs, the inner edges of your feet. Stream your legs upwards. Nice, Natalie, that's it. Make sure your shoulders are all the way down. And you can see, maybe you don't need your feet on the blocks. You have to see whatever feels, best for you. Natalie, lift the outer thighs up, lengthen the buttocks flesh. And then those of you with your legs up the wall, keep reaching your heels up the wall. Move your sitting bones down. And just let the whole back of the leg move towards the wall. Let your hips really rest on that support. Relax your hand and your face and your tongue. Shoulder standers. Keep walking your hands further down. Press the upper arms down, but relax the sides of your neck, your jaw, your tongue. Keep reaching up with your legs, moving your legs back. Keep extending the legs upwards. If you have glasses, just take them off. Nice, Tamar. Not bad at all. That's good. See if you can move your legs back away from that railing. Walk your elbows in. Okay, now if your legs are up the wall, just cross your legs like we do in the beginning of class, Svastikasana. Cross your shins. Those in shoulder stands start to come down out of your pose. Come down slowly and just make your way down out of your pose. Slide your shoulders back off of the blankets. And then Natalie, bend your knees. Hold on to the bolster. Push the bolster through your feet. Rest your hips on the floor. That's it. And rest your legs on the bolster. That's it. Those of you on the wall, slide out and then cross your legs the other way on the bolster. Cross your legs the other way on the bolster. So move your hips in front of that bolster and just rest your hips on the floor and cross your legs on the bolster that we're supporting your hips. That's it. Okay, and then everybody roll to the side and prepare for Shavasana. Take any support you'd like. Take your feet a little bit wider than your hips and deeply relax your legs. Take your arms a little bit wider than your side ribs and deeply relax your arms. Make your lips soft and relax the back of your tongue away from the roof of your mouth and let your lower jaw descend away from your upper jaw. Sink your eyes back Draw your ears in. Bring your head space to your heart space. And rest in that peace that's there, deep inside your own heart center. Let your body be deeply affected by that peace. Let your mind be affected by that peace. Let your mood and your emotions be affected by that peace. Relax your whole body from top to bottom. Release yourself. Let loose yourself. Let go yourself. See if you can relax a little bit more. Move deeper into your Shavasana. Now bring your hands onto your body and deepen your breath. Take a few breaths in and out. Bend your knees and roll to your side. And then slowly come up to sit. And sit with your spine erect and your chest open and your palms upwards. And just take a moment to absorb the effects of your practice. Remembering that sutra, that peace is at hand if we just practice being more and more present as much as we can. Bring your hands to your heart center, lift your chest upwards, bow your head downwards, acknowledge yourself. Namaste, peace and blessings to you all. Thank you so much for coming. Have a beautiful Saturday.